Next, let's talk about how to draw controllers. Controllers can have many different shapes. When we draw controllers, we need to make sure they are as simple and clear as possible. On one hand, we don't want all controllers to have the same shape. If all controllers are just a circle, it looks very ugly and isn't intuitive, because we can't tell from the controller's shape what this controller is supposed to do, or which part it controls. But on the other hand, we don't want the controller's shape to be too complex. We definitely don't want to spend the whole day just drawing a hand controller. That's obviously unnecessary. So let's look at how we usually draw controllers. To draw controllers, what we'll generally use is the CV curve tool under the curve tools. For example, let's draw a very simple square. We can go into the curve tools, find the CV curve tool, click the option box on the right. We'll change this to linear. Then hold X on the keyboard to snap to the grid. And let's draw one. This way we've drawn a square controller. We need to make sure its pivot point is at the word origin, because later we'll need to group it, move it, and do operations like that. Next, let's make a box controller. How do I usually make a box controller? I usually create a polygon cube as a helper. We'll use the CV curve tool again. Hold V on the keyboard. We can snap to the polygon model. So we'll draw one face, then two faces. When we finish this face, we find there's already a line here. What do? It's okay. We'll just trace over it and keep tracing. Okay, and before we finish, we need to check from all angles to make sure all the edges are drawn. If we're not sure, we can go to Show in the viewport and temporarily hide polygons. Then let's take a look. We've drawn all the edges. Now we press Enter to confirm. This way, we have a box-shaped controller. And don't forget to turn the polygon display back on. Then we delete the polygon model. This way, this is a box-shaped controller. Let's make an arrow controller. Same thing, we'll draw on the grid. Hold X to snap to the grid. This way, we've drawn the controller like this. We can scale it down a bit and freeze transformations. This way, we have an arrow controller. One thing we need to be careful about here is that a controller must be a single continuous curve. We might see some presets in the NURBS curve creation menu. For example, there's a square NURBS curve here. But be careful, we never use this command to create controllers. Because, look, it actually creates 4 NURBS curves and puts them in a group. And when we select them, we'll find. If I select this top edge, it's a transform node. Select this right edge, it's another transform node. What's the purpose of our controller? Is to select the shape to actually select its corresponding transform node. Think about it. If a circle is our controller, when we select it, we are selecting the corresponding parent transform node, which we provide to the animator to animate. If we use this square preset, it's actually created 4 controllers. For us, this is completely different from what we want, which is its top-level transform node, and each one is just a single line. It's very hard for us to find them in the viewport. This is a situation we need to avoid, so let's be careful here. If we want to create a square controller, we must manually draw a continuous curve in the scene. This way, look, when I select it, no matter which edge I select, I'm ultimately selecting this one's transform node. So that concludes our explanation of controller drawing. In the following exercises, we'll be creating a lot of controllers. I'm sure you'll also become more and more comfortable drawing other controller shapes. See you in the next video.